فاذكروني أذكركم واشكروا لي ولا تكفرون. يا أيها الذين آمنوا استعينوا بالصبر والصلاة إن الله مع الصابرين. ولا تقولوا لمن يقتل في سبيل الله أموات بل أحياء ولكن لا تشعرون. ولنبلونكم بشيء من الخوف والجوع ونقص من الأموال والأنفس والثمرات وبشر الصابرين الذين إذا أصابتهم مصيبة قالوا إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون. أولئك عليهم صلوات من ربهم ورحمة وأولئك هم المهتدون. صدق الله العلي العظيم. ربنا اغفر لي ولوالدي وللمؤمنين يوم يقوم الحساب برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. صلوات. اللهم صل على محمد وآله.
MashaAllah, brother. MashaAllah. Baradigar salawat.
اللهم صل على محمد
Ali. We are here to commemorate the martyrdom anniversary of our Maulana, Imam Zainul Abidin alayhi salam, who was our fourth Imam. His real name was Abdullah. He was the son of Imam Hussain and Lady Shahrbanu. He was the grandson of Commander of Faithful, Amir al-Mu'minin Ali ibn Abi Talib, and Lady of Paradise, Sajjad Fatima Zahra Salamullah alayha. He was present in the event of Karbala, but due to his sickness, Imam Hussain does not allow him to go for war. After the martyrdom of Imam Hussain alayhi salam and his companion Imam Sajjad was arrested by the Yazid army. He was arrested with his sisters on who were bareheaded. It was very difficult for our fourth Imam, but he continued his father mission. He addressed through Kufa and Sham and in the court of Yazid and introduced his father Imam Hussain alayhi salam and the Shahadat of his father, his brothers, his cousins, and companion of Imam Hussain alayhi salam. He continued the mission of Imam Hussain. He was house arrest through his whole life, but he continued to teach Islam and love of Ahlul Bayt to the Muslim Ummah through his prayer and supplication. His well-known books, Sahifa Sajjadiya, is a great book of his sermons. He was martyred by the Umayyad Khalifa Walid bin Malak on the 25th of Muharram al-Haram through poison. For Muhammad wa Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. निखरे हुए करदार का कुरान है सज्जाद, निखरे हुए करदार का कुरान है सज्जाद, इंसान की तकदीस का सुल्तान है सज्जाद, सरतिश्माए दीन अजमत ईमान है सज्जाद, इस्लाम की तारीख का अनवान है सज्जाद। ये शहर फजाइल है मसायब का जहां है, ये शहर फजाइल है मसायब का जहां है, तकबीर नबूवत है इमामत की अज़ान है। पर इमाम सज्जाद अलैहिस्सलाम बुलंद तर सलावत
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
So I would like to invite Brother Omar to recite Salam by Hazrat Sayyid Sajjad Imam पर Muhammad wa ali Muhammad salawat.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farajah.
पर मोहम्मद वाले मोहम्मद सल्लल्लाहु
Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Tradition of the Imam Zain al-Abidin alayhi salam from their salawat.
Allahumma salli ala
Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farajah.
सजाद रिहाई पाकर भी परदेस से घर को आकर भी जब अश्क बहाते रहते थे ज़ैनब से दुख देखे न गए। एक रोज तरफ ये पूछा सजाद तू कब तक रोएगा। उस वक्त मेरे मौला ने कहा, उस वक्त मेरे मौला ने कहा, अपने मुकद्दर पर सुगरा के सवालों पर क्यों न रोए सजाद, क्यों न रोए सजाद, क्यों न रोए सजाद। ऐ मेरी पुपी इंसाफ तू करने से जो देखे बाप का सर हो साथ सफर में वो जिसने चीरा थानी अकबर का जिगर गुर्रों की सजा मिलती हो जहाँ बच्चों को अश्क बहाने पर क्यों न रोए सजाद, क्यों न रोए सजाद, क्यों न रोए सजाद। तुम छुप छुप कर क्यों रोती हो, मैं रोऊं तो क्यों कहती हो। रोया न करो ए लाल मेरे भाई को गवा कर बैठी हूँ। मासूम बहन को जिंदा में जो छोड़ के तन्हा आया कर क्यों न रोए सजाद, क्यों न रोए सजाद, क्यों न रोए सजाद। नेज़े से गिरा पास का सर मैं देख चुका हूँ वो मंजर। दरबार में मैं क्यों मर न गया जब नाम तुम्हारा ले लेकर कहता था नहीं ज़ैनब है कहाँ, ले आओ यहाँ पर बेचादर। क्यों न रोए सजाद, क्यों न सज्जाद सब कत्ल हुए मैं जिंदा था बीमार सही कर सकता था शर्मिंदा हूँ मैं असगर से वो तीर सितम से लड़ तो गया वो तीर मेरे क्यों करना लगा जिस तीर से घायल था असगर क्यों न रोए सज्जाद क्यों न रोए सज्जाद क्यों न रोए सज्जाद आवाज बुलंद से बोलो
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم ما شاء الله
माशाल्लाह बारदीगर सलावत अल्लाहुम्मा सल्ली अला मुहम्मद व आले
محمد
हर दौर में एहसास की मेराज है सज्जाद गैरत का शहंशाह है सरताज है सज्जाद मजलूम की आंखों में मकी आज है सज्जाद कब तेरे मेरे जिक्र का मुख्तार है सज्जाद जब तक है जहां में हक को बातिल का फसाना जब तक है जहां में हक को बातिल का फसाना सज्जाद के सजदों को न भूलेगा ज़मान पर मोहम्मद अहले बैत मोहम्मद सल्लल्लाहु
اللهم
सल्ली अला
محمد
मुहम्मद व
وآل
आले
محمد
Now I would like to invite Brother Zaki to recite Salam. Brother Zaki by Muhammad wa Ahle Bayt Muhammad Salawat.
اللهم صل على
محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم
اللهم صل على
محمد
محمد सफर पुठियां दी पेशी दे सुनाने पै गए मैनू सफर पुठियां दी पेशी दे सुनाने पै गए मैनू छुपाने जख्म जेरे छुपाने जख्म जेरे वखाने पै गए मैनू सफर पुठियां दी पेशी दे सुनाने पै गए मैनू कदों कोई वीर जिंदा सी मेरा लाशा उठावन लई मेरी गुरबत के जंगलां विच जदों कोई बाल मरिया सी जनाजे अपनी पुठियां तो जनाजे अपनी पुठियां तो चुकाने पै गए मैनू सफर पुठियां दी पेशी दे सुनाने पै गए मैनू बाजार च अपनी पुठियां लई किथों चाचा मैं लै आंदा ओदी बावां तो सदके किस तरह पास बन जांदा बड़ा रोया जदों मजमे बड़ा रोया जदों मजमे हटाने पै गए मैनू सफर पुठियां दी पेशी दे सुनाने पै गए मैनू जिगर अकबर तने से तो छुड़ाया मेरे बाबे ने मुसीबत हो की होनी ए सफरा विच सकीना दे शिमर तो वाल खुद आपी शिमर तो वाल खुद आपी छुड़ाने पे गए मैनू सफर कुपिया निवेशिरे सुनाने पे गए मैनू गोरी जब संग भाई दे मेरी पहना बिछड़ गईया गई लेकिन सदा देनिया पैया बाजार च नाम बहना दे बाजार च नाम बहना दे बुलाने पे गए मैनू सफल कुपियां दी पेशी दे सुनाने पे गए मैनू
माशाल्लाह वाले दीगर सलावत अल्लाहुम्मा सल्ली अला मुहम्मद व आले मुहम्मद. I would like to invite Brother Hasan Abbas to recite Marsiya by Muhammad wa Ahl Bayt Muhammad salawat.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل
Imam thirst salawat.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجه.
Hadi dikkat salawat.
Allahumma salli ala
محمد
नाम सज्जाद का जब फिर जुबान होता है नाम सज्जाद का जब फिर जुबान होता है ऐसा साबिर दुनिया में कहाँ इश्क सज्जाद में मकतूब है आला ज़ल्फ़ी इश्क सज्जाद में मकतूब है आला ज़ल्फ़ी इसके काबिल कोई कम ज़र्फ़ कहाँ सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali
ये सोचता आबिद का हाल क्या होगा ये सोचता हूँ कि आबिद का हाल क्या होगा हसीर हो कि वो जब शाम में गया होगा ये सोचता हूँ वो याद करता तो होगा वतन की शाही को वो याद करता तो होगा वतन की शाही को बहन को दफन जो परदेश में किया होगा मैं सोचता हूँ सुना है क्या में जाते ही खून रोने लगा सुना है क्या में जाते ही खून रोने लगा ना जाने शेर ने उस वक्त क्या कहा होगा मैं सोचता हूँ गले के ताक ने आबिद को क्या झुकाना था गले के ताक ने आबिद को क्या झुकाना था वो अपने खोए हुए लाल ढूंढता होगा मैं सोचता हूँ प्राय मोहम्मद मोहम्मद साहब
पर मोहम्मद अहले बैत मोहम्मद सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि Mashallah, brother. Now I would like to invite Brother Nader Shah to recite Salam. Brother Nader Shah, Bar Muhammad Ahle Bait Muhammad Sallallahu
صلوات على محمد وآل محمد ليس مبتين تعجل رجل يا حسن صلوات اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجه بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا رحمن يا رحيم صلى الله عليك يا رحمة الله الواسعة صلى الله عليك يا باب النجاة الأمة صلى الله عليك يا أبا عبد الله صلى الله عليك يا مظلوم كربلاء صلى الله عليك يا أبا عبد الله وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك عليك مني سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار ولا جعل الآخر العام مني لزيارتكم السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد
الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين الذي بذل مهجهم دون الحسين يا ليتنا كنا معكم فنفوز فوزا عظيما. صلوات از سرور دو عالم نزد ما غم بهتر است. از سرور دو عالم نزد ما غم بهتر است. گریه بر تو از نماز شب هم بهتر است. واقعا اشک برای روزه چیزی دیگری است. در سکوت ما فرات از آب زمزم بهتر است. گریه هایم بگیری بگمان دیق میکنم. مردن از دنیای به گریه برایم بهتر است. گریه های بیگری بگمان دیق میکنم. مردن از دنیای به گریه برایم بهتر است. قال جعفر بن محمد الصادق عليه الصلاة والسلام هل تعرفون ثواب من قال يا حسين من نادى يا حسين في الدنيا نادى في الآخرة يا حسين. امام صادق آل محمد علیه السلام می فرماید هر کسی ایشون از اصحابشان سؤال فرمود آیا می دانید ثواب کسانی که میگویند یا حسین من نادا یا حسین فی الدنیا در این دنیا صدا میزند یا حسین و سینه میزند یا حسین. قال فیأتی نداء عبد یا حسین در آخرت هم صدای از اون مؤمنین و سینه زنان صدای یا حسین بلند می شود. در قیامت ندای می رسد عبد یا حسین ای بنده ما حسین هل تعرف هذا النداء این صدا و این صاحب صدا را میشناسی. فيقول الامام حسين عليه السلام امام می فرماید بله یا رب نعم یا رب انه من البكائین علی اینا کسانی هستند که در دنیا برای ما گریه می کردن و سینه می زدن نوحه می خواندن. فیأتی ندا صدا میاد از بالگاه ذوالجلال والاکرام حبیبی یا حسین حبیبی یا حسین ای عزیزی ای حسین خذوا معك الى الجنه بردارین مؤمن را با خود ببر طرف جنت. اللهم اجعلنا من المنادين يا حسين يا حسين. در جواب اینکه شأن گریه کنای توست، از برای این سوال الله اعلم بهتر است. هر که به جای رسید از نوکری تو رسید، نوکری تو ز آقای عالم بهتر است. نوحی دم داده با این دمی مسیح آدم شدم، از دمی روح القدوس والله این دم بهتر است. 11 ماه از خدا ماهی شما را خواستم، از تمام ماهی محرم بهتر است. انبیا در آخر ختم شوند عبدالحسین، آخرین را از آغاز آن هم بهتر است. رتبه پیر غلامانی تو نزد فاطمه است، چون غلامی شما تا قیامت هم بهتر است. گر وزیر ناودان کعبه هم باشی، ولی معتقد استم که باشم زیر پرچم بهتر است. اللهم ارزقنا في الدنيا زيارة الحسين وفي الآخرة شفاعة الحسين على الأرواح المؤمنين والمؤمنات والشهداء والصديقين وعلماء ومراجع ماضي، خصوصا آية الله العظمى السيد سعيد الحكيم قدس الله نفسه الزكية، وسيد مزفر عباس نقوي وأمير عباس نقوي وجميع مرحومين والحاضرين والغائبين. الفاتحة مع الصلوات.
محمد وعجل فرجه.
محمد وآل بيت محمد صلوات. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. نعرہ تکبیر، نعرہ رسالت، نعرہ حیدری، حسینیت، یزیدیت، لبیک یا حسین، لبیک یا حسین، لبیک یا حسین. اور محمد وآل بیت محمد صلوات.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل.
I would like to invite Hujjatul Islam wal Muslimin, Maulana Sayyid Hadi Hasan to recite Majlis Sajjad. برائے صحت و سلامتی علماء حق بلند در صلوات.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين بارئ الخلائق أجمعين باعث السفراء الأكرمين والصلاة والسلام والتحية والإكرام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا ومولانا أبي القاسم محمد
اللهم محمد وآل محمد
وعلى أهل بيته الأطيبين الأنجبين ولعنة الله على أعدائهم أجمعين. أما بعد فقد قال الله الحكيم في الذكر الكريم أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم وجعلناهم أئمة يهدون بأمرنا لما صبروا وكانوا بآياتنا يوقنون. صلوات.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
First of all, I'd like to extend my heartfelt condolence to all of you, especially to Imam al-Asr wa Zaman, on the sad demise and poignant martyrdom of our fourth Imam, Imam Zainul Abidin alayhi salatu wasalam. Imam Zainul Abidin, he lived roughly 57 years, like his father, Imam Hussein alayhi salam. He was born in 38 and he received Shahadat in 95. So he lived 2 years with his grandfather, Amir al-Mu'mineen, and 12 years with Imam Hasan al-Mujtaba, and 22 years with his father, Imam Hussein al-Islam, and then 35 years of his own imamah. This is the brief life sketch of Imam Zainul Abidin alayhi salatu wasalam. In this discussion, I'd like to focus on the gracious life of Imam Sajjad alayhi salam from his birth till Karbala, which is generally not covered much. And then inshallah, if we'll have some time, we'll also explore some of the legacies of Imam Sajjad alayhi salatu wasalam that he has left behind. The first thing which is really important in the life of Imam Sajjad alayhi salam is the mother of Imam Zainul Abidin alayhi salam. Imam Zainul Abidin's mother was not an Arab. She was one of the princes of Iran. The last king of Sasani dynasty, whose name was Yazdijir. When Muslims attacked Iran during second caliph, the Iranian king was defeated, and as it was custom at that time, his family was taken captive to Medina. When they came to Medina, the caliph, the second caliph, tried to humiliate them in the same way they used to humiliate other prisoners of war. Or in better words, he wanted to treat them in the same way as they treated all other captives of war. When there were captives, generally they were put on sale. So people came and purchased them, took them to their houses as their servants or maids. But Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam objected this behavior of the Caliph. And Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam challenged him that this is not the right way to deal with the dignitaries, especially those who are from dignified background. Because there is a hadith from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in which he says, "Irhamu thalathan." You should be merciful to all. Hadith says, "Irhamu man fil ard, yarhamkum man fis sama." We all are yearning for the blessings of Allah Azza wa Jal, graces from Allah Azza wa Jal. The easiest way, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has told us, if you want Allah to have mercy upon you, you should have mercy upon the creation of Allah. Be kind to those who are living on the land of Allah Azza wa Jal. The one who is living in the heavens will be kind upon you. So this is a general law of nature or Allah Azza wa Jal. However, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says there are three people who deserves special kindness, compassion, and mercy. Number one, Azizan dhalla min ba'di izz. The dignified person who lost his dignity, who is disgraced because of some circumstances. And ghaniyan idha iftaqara, the rich person if he becomes poor. Aliman, the educated person, the scholar who is surrounded by the ignorance. These three groups of people should be respected specifically. Because if there is a dignified person, a chief of the tribe, or a royal family, they are not individuals. They are the representatives of the whole nation or whole community. So disgracing them means disgracing the whole community or whole country. And respecting them, dignifying them, is respecting the whole nation and whole country and whole community. So Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam told the Caliph, these two daughters who've been taken as captives, who's been brought as captives, they are not from ordinary backgrounds. They are the daughters of the king. If you respect them, that would be considered the respect of Iranian people, the whole nation. And if you humiliate them, again, that would be considered the humiliation of the whole nation. What a better opportunity you can have to win the hearts of the whole country just by respecting them. And that's why, in fact, some people, especially from other Muslim backgrounds, they complain Iran was conquered by this person and that person. However, Iranian people, they are shouting the name of Ali ibn Abi Talib 5 times or 3 times from the minarets of Adhan. They are not mentioning the name of the person who conquered Iran. You conquered Iran physically, but Ahlul Bayt alayhimu salatu wasalam conquered Iran spiritually. You won the land, but Ali and the descendants of Ali al-Murtaza won the hearts. And heart winners always win. So this type of attitudes of Ahlul Bayt alayhimu salatu wasalam attracted Iranian people towards Ahlul Bayt, because they were embodiment of justice, love, compassion, and dignity. So when Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam stood by his principle and the principle of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, Caliph gave up. He said, okay, whatever you say, We have no option but to accept. He said, what shall we do? Imam Ali والسلام, asked the daughters of the Yazdijir should be given the option to choose their husband from the Muslim Ummah by themselves. It is not allowed, it is not acceptable that they are given to ordinary people or they are sold like ordinary slaves. They should be given the option to choose their husbands from the Muslim world. And interestingly, when these two girls, they were to choose their husbands, one chose Imam Hasan alayhi salatu wasalam, and the other chose Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam. Or according to another narration, one chose Imam Hussein, the other one chose Muhammad bin Abi Bakr, was also like the son of Imam Ali alayhi salam. And this is how this great lady, Shahar Banu or Shah Zanan, came into the household of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So Shahar Banu, Shahar means city, Banu means lady, the lady of the city. That was her name. And she was really a dignified woman. And here is a question, how she chose Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasallam from all other Muslims. There is a narration that says that before Iranian kingdom fell to Muslims, this great lady, Shahar Banu, has seen a dream that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, along with Imam Hussein, they came to her palace, and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam introduced that lady to Imam Hussein alayhi salam, and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam performed her nikah to Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam in a dream. And Lady Fatima alayhi salatu wasalam also came. So she was in fact a Muslimah even before coming to Medina, and she knew what was going to happen. She knew that Muslims will attack Persia and the kingdom will fall, and eventually her family will be taken as captives to Medina. So from that dream, she recognized Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam, and that's why she chose. And she gave birth to Imam Sajjad alayhi salatu wasalam in 38 AH. Or there are some other narrations in 36 or in 37 as well. But the most dominant opinion is that Imam Sajjad alayhi salatu wasalam was born in 38 AH. And this great lady, unfortunately, based on most established opinion, passed away in her labor, or soon after giving birth to Imam Sajjad alayhi salatu wasalam. Imam Sajjad was nurtured, taken care by another lady. Definitely she was a different lady, but Imam Sajjad, out of respect, always called her mother. And it is mentioned that for the respect of mother, Imam Sajjad alayhi salatu wasalam was so respectful to his mother. She was not in fact the actual mother. She was the nurse for Imam Sajjad alayhi salatu wasalam. But Imam Sajjad recognized her as mother, and he respected her to the extent that he never ate his meals with her. And when he was asked why, Imam Sajjad replied, I am afraid that perhaps I extend my hand to something from the sufra, from the dining table, or the cloth of the dining table, which my mother intends to eat or take. I don't want to disrespect my mother to this extent. So that was the level of respect of Imam Sajjad to his mother. I'm not saying we or our children should respect their mother in this way, but this is the seerah of Imam Sajjad, which tells us about the lofty status of mother in Islam. And it allows us, not only allows us, tells us, not only tells us, commands us to respect our mothers and our fathers, our parents at a high volume. So this is a great practical lesson that we can derive from the life of Imam Zainul Abidin. Another interesting point in the life of Imam Sajjad is, historians say that before the birth of Imam Sajjad salam, Arabian people, they were hesitant to have children from non-Arab mothers or non-Arab wives. But when they saw Imam Sajjad salam's dignity, virtues, honor, and all the high qualities, they realized this fact that there is no difference between Arab and Ajam. What matters? Qualities and virtues, not the race, not the color, not the creed. So Imam Sajjad's birth opened a new horizon in Arabian history in terms of equality, justice, and love for all and care for all. Another interesting point of Imam Sajjad's life is his beautiful names or titles, whatever you want to say. His main name is Ali. Ali means high. Imam Sajjad ﷺ is definitely at most high in all his qualities, in all his virtues. And another famous name of Imam Sajjad ﷺ is Zainul Abidin. Zainul Abidin means the adornment, the beauty of all the worshippers of Allah Azza wa Jalla. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, on the day of judgment, when all the people from Awwaleen and Akhirin, from all the nations will be gathered in one place, a munadi, an angel from Allah Azza wa Jalla will call upon Ayna Zainul Abidin. Where is the adornment of the worshippers, all the worshippers from Awwaleen and Akhirin? No one will stand except my grandson Zainul Abidin. This is the lofty status of Imam Sajjad when it comes to worshipping Allah. Another beautiful name of Imam Sajjad is Sayyidul Sajidin, the one who is Allah. Why Imam is called Sayyidul Sajidin or Sajjad? Sajjad means the one who does sajda a lot. Imam Muhammad al-Baqir says, whenever there was a blessing in the life of my father, a happiness in the life of my father, Imam Sajjad put his head into sajda. Whenever a musibah was averted from Imam Sajjad Imam Sajjad put his forehead into sajda. Whenever there was a good news in the life of Imam Sajjad he performed a sajda. Whenever he managed to reconcile between two people who were cross from one another, Imam Sajjad performed a sajda. So it was not the case that only at the time of Salah Imam Sajjad performed sajda, but throughout 24 hours, again and again, for all the blessings, for all the supports, for all the favors of Allah, for all the achievements, Imam Sajjad used to perform a sajda. And this is a great habit. Alhamdulillah, we pray salah, we offer daily prayers, and we do sajda, but we should increase in the numbers and in the length of our sajda, which is definitely one of the great signs of the believers. Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam have suggested us that within 24 hours, at least you should do one prolonged sajda, lengthy sajda, for 2 minutes, for 5 minutes. And in sajda, talk to Allah. Ask your hajat. When you do sajda and ask your hajat in sajda, you are closest to Allah Azza wa Jalla. You are most likely to be heard, to be answered by Almighty Allah. And based on the researches that people have done about the health benefits of sajda, there are 80 illnesses which can be cured by sajda. When a person performs sajda, his blood circulation is at the optimum level, especially the lungs capacity is highly increased. And that's why you may have seen that during coronavirus, there were several videos. Those people who were doing prone ventilation system, natural ventilation system, they use the posture almost like sajda position. So sajda is really helpful. Definitely, when we do sajda, we should intend for health benefits. They will be there. We should intend only for Allah Azza wa Jalla. But this proves that all the instructions, all the teachings that we have in Islam, they are only and only for our betterment. Our religion, the beauty of our religion is the whole religion comes from Allah Azza wa Jalla, who is ghaniyun anil khalaq, who doesn't need anyone, who doesn't have any own personal interest, who loves us. And out of his love, he has instructed us to live this way, to worship this way, to do this, not to do that. Therefore, we shouldn't consider our religious instructions, practices a burden. They are not a burden. They are the greatest blessing. They are to support us, to help us, to complete us, to favor upon us. And that is the message of Imam Sajjad. History says Imam Sajjad had a garden of palm trees in which there were 500 trees. Imam Sajjad used to perform 2 rak'ah salah under each tree. So in 24 hours, Imam Sajjad used to perform 1,000 rak'ah of salah. So this is Imam Sajjad alayhi salam's worshipping of Allah. I'm not saying we should follow Imam Sajjad alayhi salatu wasalam exactly, but we should pray our salah on time. We should add some nawafil, at least Fajr nafila, which is only 2 rak'ah performed before Fajr salah, Maghrib nafila, which is only 4 rak'ah performed after salah, 1 rak'ah Isha nafila, which is performed after namaz Isha. If performed in standing position, 1 rak'ah if performed in sitting position. Definitely, it is highly encouraged to perform in sitting position in 2 rak'ah. Dhuhr and Asr, definitely they have 8 rak'ah nafila each before them. And then we have 11 rak'ah salat tahajjud and 17 rak'ah 5 daily prayers. So altogether, these are 51 rak'ah salat. And as we all hear during the time of Arba'in, that Imam Hasan used to say, performing these 51 rak'ah salah is one of the important signs of a believer. So I'm not saying we should start praying all these salah together, but we should strive to add up some nawafil as well. So this is another title of Imam Sajjad alayhi salam. Another title is Safanat, which is also related to his worshipping of Allah. Safana means the marks that occur on our body parts. You may have seen that some people, especially those who are in 50s or 60s, they have some marks of sajda on their forehead. So that is called safana. So Imam Sajjad alayhi salatu wasalam used to develop so much safanat, so much marks or clusters of the additional skins on his forehead and on his knees, that there was a need of removing those clusters at least 2 times in a year. In a year. And Imam Sajjad used to collect them, and then Imam made the wasiyah to his son, Imam Muhammad al-Baqir, to put those clusters of iskin which emerged because of worshipping Allah Azza wa Jal, because of prostrating to Allah Azza wa Jal, along with his kafan. So this is Imam Sajjad. Imam Sajjad had 15 children. Majority of them were boys, some of them were girls. All were dignified and all played very crucial role in disseminating the teachings of Ahlul Bayt. But 2 of them are definitely the most famous. One is Imam Muhammad al-Baqir and the other one is Zayd Shaheed. Other than Imam Muhammad al-Baqir, all the children of Imam Sajjad were from Walad. Imam Muhammad Baqir was born from Fatima bint Hasan. Imam Hasan's daughter Fatima, she married with the son of Imam Hussein, Imam Sajjad والسلام, and from this marriage, Imam Muhammad al-Baqir was born. The rest of the children were from Walad. Walad, this is a beautiful term, and this was a beautiful method of Islam to free the slaves or put an end to slavery. You look at all the Islamic teachings. If you miss a fast, you free a slave during that time. If you made an ahad and you cannot fulfill that, free a slave. So Islam has talked again and again about freeing the slaves. And freeing the slaves is one of the most beautiful practices that Islam has recommended. And Imam Sajjad والسلام, is a champion of that. Even from our Ma'asumin alayhi, all 14 Ma'asumin alayhi, Imam Sajjad والسلام, is the one who has freed the highest number of slaves. Why? I'll discuss inshallah shortly. So Walad, at that time, that was a common practice that people used to have slave girls. So if a person has a slave girl and that slave girl brings children or a child from that person, that slave girl is called Walad. Means that after the death of this person, she will be free automatically. So that is a beautiful practice of Islam, to free the slave girls. And Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wasalam married with the slave girls. Sometimes they freed them and married with them, and sometimes they lived with them and they became the mother of their children. So automatically they got freed. And by this practice, Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wasalam once again taught people a powerful lesson, that there is no lower caste in humanity. All the humans are equal in the eyes of Allah Azza wa Jal. The benchmark is taqwa. If you want to become closer to Allah Azza wa Jal, if you want to be considered more dignified, you should acquire more and more taqwa, more and more ilm, more and more fadail and virtues. Why Imam Sajjad alayhi salatu wasalam freed most slaves than any other Imam, more slaves than any other Imam? During the time of Imam Sajjad, Imam was not allowed to go to Mimbar and deliver lectures. Imam Sajjad didn't have the right to have his companions meeting with him. The situation was so suffocating that when the followers of Imam Sajjad, they wanted to meet, they used to sit under the name of recitation of Quran. That was the only way they were allowed to sit together. So in that situation, it was extremely difficult for Imam Sajjad alayhi salam to teach people about Islam. So Imam Sajjad adopted a unique method. Imam Sajjad used to go to slave market, purchase slaves, brought them to his home, treated them like their own children. People thought that Imam Sajjad was purchasing slaves, but Imam Sajjad was not purchasing slaves. Imam Sajjad والسلام, was bringing future scholars. Imam Sajjad brought them in his home, treated them like his children, educated them, made them great human beings. And when they were ready, Imam Sajjad freed them. Now go and start your mission. Educate people about Islam. Deliver the teachings of Ahlul Bayt والسلام, to the humanity. That was a unique method adopted by Imam Zainul Abidin. So these are some aspects of the gracious life of Imam Zainul Abidin والسلام. And when it comes to his imamah, the last point, when it comes to his imamah, again, the situation was so suffocating that Imam Hussain والسلام, could not pronounce his name as the Imam after him openly. Because if Imam Hussain والسلام, announced the name of Sayyidul Sajidin as the Imam after him, the Yazidi army would have killed Imam Sajjad والسلام, right away in the plains of Karbala. So Imam Hussain والسلام, had no option but to make some indications. For example, when Imam Hussain wanted to leave Medina, he gave the Asrarul Imamah, the special books that Imams والسلام, used to have, such as Sahifa of Imam Ali salam, Mushaf of Imam Ali, Mushaf of Bibi Fatima to Zahra, and some other precious legacies that they had inherited from Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So Imam Hussain entrusted Salma with all these precious legacies. And he asked her, after Karbala, a son of mine will come and ask you for these Asrar Imamah, and that will be my successor. Definitely no one came other than Imam Zainul Abidin alayhi salatu wasalam. And there was in fact a confusion among people because of the circumstances that I explained, to the extent that a group of people started believing in Hazrat Muhammad Hanafiya as the Imam after Imam Hussain. And that's why some people, even in our day and time, they have a kind of disrespect, kind of tendency of disrespecting Hazrat Muhammad bin Hanafiya. And they think that, na'udhu billah, it was his mistake. Because of two reasons, they criticize Muhammad al-Hanafiya. They think that Muhammad al-Hanafiya claimed for Imamah after Imam Hussain. And they think that Imam Hussain والسلام, asked for Muhammad al-Hanafiya to join him in his mission in Karbala, but he didn't accompany. Unfortunately, these two are just the misconceptions. Number one, Hazrat Muhammad bin Hanafiya never claimed that he was an Imam. He was the son of Imam Ali, and he was so dignified that people automatically started thinking that he should be the Imam. And as I said, Imam Hussain والسلام, didn't want to announce the name of Imam Sajjad والسلام, after him because his life would be in danger. And because of these two reasons, the greatness of Muhammad al-Hanafiya and the secrecy of Imam Hussain والسلام, people started believing in Muhammad al-Hanafiya as the Imam after Imam Sajjad. And it is mentioned that when Muhammad al-Hanafiya realized that people were going on the wrong direction, he came to Imam Sajjad alayhi salam. And I would say he sacrificed himself in order to make crystal clear for people that he was not the Imam. Imam Sajjad was the Imam. He pretended as if he was interested in Imamah, and then he asked Imam Sajjad alayhi salatu wasalam to prove that he was the Imam. And Muhammad al-Hanafiya knew very well that Imam Sajjad was the Imam. It was extremely easy for him to prove that he was an Imam. So Imam Sajjad alayhi salam asked him, "Oh, my uncle, if you ask me to prove my Imamah, let's go to Hajar al-Aswad." At that time, Imam Sajjad and Muhammad al-Hanafiya, they were in Mecca. So along with hundreds of people, they came in front of Hajar al-Aswad. Then Imam Sajjad asked Muhammad al-Hanafiya, "Go and pray to Allah Azza wa Jal and ask Allah to make Hajar al-Aswad speak in your favor and announce your Imamah if you are an Imam." Muhammad al-Hanafiya did so, but Hajar al-Aswad didn't move, didn't speak. Now it was the time for Imam Sajjad. He went, prayed to Allah Azza wa Jal and asked him to make Hajar al-Aswad speak for his Imamah. People, those who were around Hajar al-Aswad, they say that there was a huge sound from Hajar al-Aswad, as if Hajar al-Aswad will come out of his place, and then they heard in very clear Arabic language that Hajar al-Aswad was telling them, Hajar al-Aswad was speaking, that Imam Sayyidul Sajidin, Zainul Abidin is the Imam after Imam Hussain. Muhammad al-Hanafiya, according to some narration, seeing that, he fell on the feet of Imam Sajjad alayhi salam, kissed the feet of Imam Sajjad alayhi salam, and left that gathering full of delight, full of peace of mind, because he ended that fuss from his side. If Muhammad al-Hanafiya had any, na'udhu billah, bad intention, he could deny that. There were many people who saw many mu'jizat from Rasulullah, from Imam Ali, from Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam, but as they didn't want to believe, they didn't believe. They would find some excuses. But Muhammad al-Hanafiya was delighted, happy. So this is a proof that Muhammad al-Hanafiya didn't claim for Imamah. And second point, he didn't join Imam Hussain alayhi salam in Karbala. Imam Hussain himself had instructed Muhammad al-Hanafiya that you are my representative at Medina, and your duty is to look after my family, and it is your duty to report all the incidents taking place in Medina to me. So he was assigned a task in Medina. So again, there was no mistake from his side. Also, one of his legs was badly injured in the battle of Siffin, to the extent that historians say one of his legs got paralyzed. Muhammad al-Hanafiya couldn't move properly. Therefore, he didn't participate in the battle of Karbala. And Imam Sajjad alayhi salatu wasalam had showed countless miracles. A lady called Hubaba Walibiya, she met Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and she asked, "Ya Rasulullah, how would I recognize who is Imam after you?" Rasulullah gave her a stone. And Rasulullah used his finger, his ring, which was in his finger, and Rasulullah put the ring on that stone, and it engraved that stone. Just by putting the ring, it engraved the stone. It made clear mark. And Rasulullah said, this would be the sign of anyone who is my true successor after me. So after Rasulullah, she brought that stone to Imam Ali alayhi salam, then to Imam Hasan, Imam Hussain. And after Imam Hussain alayhi salatu salam, she came to visit Imam Zainul Abidin alayhi salatu salam. And by the time she was 113 years old, Imam Sajjad, she asked Imam without she could ask Imam Sajjad alayhi salatu wasalam, he asked her, where is that stone? And then Imam Sajjad alayhi salatu wasalam also printed on that stone. She said, Ibn Rasulullah, I've developed leprosy, the white spots. Imam Sajjad turned to her and said, no worries. He just raised his fingers and all the white spots gone away. Not only that, Imam Sajjad was Fakhr Isa. Hazrat Isa used to cure the leprosy. Imam Sajjad not only cured the leprosy, as he was Fakhr Isa, pride of Isa Masih alayhi salatu wasalam, he moved to her once again and raised his finger and recited something. After that, she became a young lady. She was 113 years old. She became a young lady. So that is Imam Zainul Abidin. And we don't have time. So I'm just mentioning, in fact, a few legacies of Imam Sajjad very briefly. Imam Sajjad has left very precious and beautiful legacies for all of us. I'm mentioning 4 or 5 of them. Number 1, his prayers, his supplications. There is a book called Sahifa as-Sajjadi, which consists of 54 beautiful du'as of Imam Sajjad. These du'as are not ordinary du'as. They are the source of knowledge, immense knowledge. Imam Sajjad didn't have time to deliver sermons, didn't have opportunity. He was banned from the dictators of his time. Imam Sajjad alayhi salatu wasalam lived under 6 dictators and he defeated all of them, failed all of them. And he protected the religion of Allah Azza wa Jalla against all the conspiracies by them. Yazid, Muawiyah bin Yazid, Marwan bin Hakam, Abdullah bin Zubayr, Abdul Malik bin Marwan, Walid bin Abdul Malik. These were 6 dictators of the time of Imam Zainul Abidin. So that is a rich legacy of Imam Sajjad. I'm not saying you read every day 1 dua of Sayyid Sajjad, but you can put a stopwatch and read only for 5 minutes. 1 dua, 5 minutes with translation. That's it. Every day, at your convenient time. Do that for 1 month. If you see a difference within yourself in terms of spirituality, in terms of knowledge, in terms of your connection with Allah, with your religion, continue. Otherwise, just leave it. Believe me, you will see the difference in a couple of days, let alone of 1 month. The other legacy of Imam Sajjad alayhi salatu wasalam is Risalatul Huquq. Risalatul Huquq, the Treaty of the Rights. How shall we connect ourselves with Allah? The whole Islam can be summarized into 2 sentences: servitude to Allah Azza wa Jal and love for the creation of Allah Azza wa Jal. How we connect ourselves with Allah, Sahifa Sajjadiyah, how we connect ourselves with our fellow human beings, with the nature, with the environment, with ourselves, all are mentioned in this Treaty of the Rights, Risalatul Huquq, 51 rights. And the third legacy of Imam Sajjad alayhi salam is 15 whispers, Munajat Khamsa Ashar, beautiful munajat, beautiful dedicational prayers to Allah Azza wa Jalla. They are called munajat. Dua means calling upon Allah Azza wa Jalla. Munajat means whispering to Allah Azza wa Jalla. When you have very close friendship with someone, you don't call upon that person, you whisper with that person. So these 15 whispers, they are extremely devotional, and I would highly recommend mu'mineen to familiarize yourself with them. And then another legacy of Imam Sajjad is Azadari. We all, alhamdulillah, perform Azadari, and we are connected with our religion through Azadari. That is a rich legacy of Imam Sajjad. He spent 35 years after Karbala crying for his father Abu Abdullah Hussein. However, when Imam Sajjad was asked, Ibn Rasulullah, what was the hardest time for you? From Karbala to Kufa, from Kufa to Damascus. Imam Sajjad didn't mention anything from Karbala, didn't mention anything from Kufa, but he says 3 times, Ash-Sham, Ash-Sham, Ash-Sham. The musibah of Sham was so immense that Imam Sajjad والسلام, couldn't forget that. Based on a hadith, based on a narration, Imam Sajjad says there were 7 masaib upon us inflicted in Sham, which we can never ever forget. What were those 7 masaib? Imam Sajjad says, the enemies, they used to surround us from all the sides. And they used to pierce their swords and their weapons. And they used to hurt the children without any mistake. Definitely, Imam Sajjad was ma'soom, and all the children, they were sinless. They didn't commit any sin. Imam Sajjad says, they were torturing us in this way as long as we were in Sham. The second musibah, Imam Sajjad ﷺ says, they used to drag us in the streets of Sham and ask people, come out of your houses, attack them, torture them as much as you wish. They have no respect in Islam. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. The third musibah, they used to take us to the houses of Jews and Christians and ask them, come out of your houses. These are the people whose ancestors have killed your ancestors. Seek revenge. Do whatever you want to do with them. Na'udhu billah. Fourth musibah, Imam Sajjad says, they used to take us in the slaves market and they used to threaten us that we are going to sell you as slaves. They used to threaten the mukhaddarat, ismatu taharat, Bibi Zainab, Bibi Kulsum, Fatima bint al-Husayn, Ruqayya, Sukaina, all these great ladies of the family of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we are going to sell you as slaves. Na'udhu billah. And then Imam Sajjad alayhi salatu wasalam says, the fifth musibah was that they used to play with the heads of the Shuhada in front of our women and children. They used to play with the head of Abu Abdullah Hussein in front of Zainab al-Kubra. They used to play with the head of Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas in front of Kulthum. They used to play with the heads of Ali al-Akbar, Qasim, Aun Muhammad in front of their sisters, Fatima bint al-Husayn, Sukaina and Ruqayya. And sometimes while they were playing with the heads of Shuhada, the heads fell from the spears and they came under the hooves of the horses. And Imam Zain al-Abidin says, our sixth musibah was that when we passed by the streets of Sham, the women were asked to throw hot waters on us from the roofs, from their houses. And some women, even they sent fires upon us. And Imam Sajjad says, one time a flame came into my ammama. My hands were tied from the neck. I couldn't remove that flame. My ammama burned out. My head got injured. And then Imam Sajjad says, the seventh musibah was that we were put in a house which didn't have any covering, which didn't have any roof. During the daytime, there was scorching sunlight, and during the night time, there were different types of troubles. There were different types of problems for us. The children of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein, the family of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein, their faces withered out. O mu'mineen, O azadaran Sayyid al-Shuhada, वो सैयद सज्जाद जो 35 बरस तक अश्शाम अश्शाम कह के रोता रहा, पानी पे नजर पड़ी अस्सलामु अलैका या अबा अब्दुल्लाह, खाने पे नजर पड़ी अस्सलामु अलैका या अबा अब्दुल्लाह, अरे मैं कैसे पानी पी लूं, मेरे बाबा को प्यासा ज़िबा कर दिया गया, मैं कैसे खाना खा लूं। हुसैन के छोटे छोटे बच्चे करबला के मैदान में 3 शबो रोज के भूखे और प्यासे। वो सैयद सज्जाद जो लम्हा ब लम्हा हुसैन को, अपने बाबा को याद कर करके रोता रहा, 25 मुहर्रम को इस दुनिया से जा रहा है। अजादारों, जहर दगा से वलीद मलऊन ने इमाम को शहीद किया। किताबों के मुताबिक ये पहला जनाजा था इस घराने में जो शान और शौकत से उठा। लेकिन अजादारों, जरा तसव्वुर कीजिए, जब हजारों अफराद ने सैयद सज्जाद की तशय्युए जनाजा में शिरकत की होगी और जनाजे को लेके जन्नतुल बकी की तरफ चले होंगे, तो क्या सैयद सज्जाद की रूह तड़प तड़प के फरियाद न कर रही होगी, बाबा मेरी खता को माफ कर दीजिए। अरे मेरा जनाजा उठाने वाला इतना बड़ा मजमा, कांधा देने वालों का इतना बड़ा हुजूम, मगर हाय आपका लाशा था, पामाल सुमे अस्पा था, करबला की जलती जमीन पे पड़ा था, मैं चंद गज के फासले पे खड़ा था, मगर मैं इतना मजबूर था कि बाबा आपको एक मुट्ठी खाक भी न दे। अला लअनतुल्लाहि अलल कौमिज़ ज़ालिमीन व सयअलमुल लज़ीना ज़लमू अय्युल मुनक़लबिन यनक़लिबून। इन्ना लिल्लाहि व इन्ना इलैहि राजिऊन। मातम हुसैन।
मैं भाई आप प्लीज अपना अनम्यूट कर दें।
ये हो गई तो ज्वाइन अब क्या There you go. Okay. जी off था. I think so, right? सब कुछ.
शाम विच सूरज में लगे है बीमार गया देख के पुत्र बसारी को जिन्हें रोता रहा रोवे ना भूल से तू रोवे ना भूल से तू एक सालार कोई रोवे ना भूल Shala bimar koi, hove na dhool watan ko. Shala bimar koi, hove na dhool watan ko. Shala bimar koi, hove na dhool watan ko. Shala bimar koi. Shab vich suraj mein lage है बीमार गया देख के पुत्र बसारी को जिवे रोंदा रहा रोवे ना भूल गए तू रोवे ना भूल गए तू इंज सालार कोई रोवे ना भूल वतन को साला बीमार होवे ना भूल साला बीमार होवे ना भूल साला बीमार होवे ना भूल साला बीमार देखे ना पुत्र दे गल कोत सुलम दे पेंदे से कोले के ना बचड़ी दे कोई दिल लेंदे शाला वशका वसनाते शाला वशका वसनाते शाला बीमार कोई होवे ना दूर वतन को होवे ना दूर वतन को शाला बीमार होवे ना दूर देखे ना पुत्र दे गल कोत जुल्म दे पैंदे से कोने के ना बचड़ी दे कोई पुर लेंदे शाला लश्का वैसना के शाला लश्का वैसना के ना बार बार कोई शाला बीमार कोई होवे ना दूर शाला बीमार कोई तेरा खुर्शीद करे मौला रो रो के दुआ तुम किसे ना मिले कोई तेरे
कोई होवे ना दूर शाला बीमार कोई होवे ना दूर शाला बीमार कोई होवे ना दूर शाला बीमार कोई सजाद दी जवानी गया सजाद दी जवानी मुका गया सजाद दी जवानी दुनिया ने विच बजाया दुनिया ने विच बजाया तू आयता कुरानी मुका गया सजाद दी जवानी 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 हस्तियां हाथ देके गुबराने में दीवाने हस्तियां हाथ देके गुबराने में दीवाने अखियां तो नारी होई अखियां तो नारी होई आयो कोने दी जवानी यो मुका गया सजाद दी जवानी यो मुका गया सजाद दी जवानी यो मुका गया सजाद दी जवानी मौन दी पुकारे जो कोई सागर मौन दी पुकारे जो कोई सागर मुश्किल से कोई कर ले मुश्किल से कोई कर ले सैयदा के मेहरबानी सजाद दी जवानी मुका गया सजाद दी जवानी दिखला जमी जाया मोटा पे पिलावन दिखला जमी जाया मोटा पे पिलावन सैयदा के बाल प्यासे सैयदा के बाल प्यासे के मिलिया पानी मुका गया सजाद दी जवानी मुका गया सजाद दी जवानी गल क्यों न लावे बावा रो रो सकीना के गल क्यों न लावे बावा रो रो सकीना के तनवीर मार देती तनवीर मार देती जंगाल दी वीरानी यो मुका गया सजाद दी जवानी मुका गया सजाद दी जवानी अजर दुनिया बेगरदी हर उजड़ी कोतवादी असगर को याद करती हर उजड़ी कोतवादी छा गई है कत्ल से छा गई है कायनात ने हैरानी मुका गया सजाद दी जवानी
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. السلام عليك يا